Well, welcome everybody to another edition of the Blake and Rudy Show. Blake, how
Rudy,
are you? Good to see you
good
today.
to see you.
And so we're not in Tampa anymore.
No, it's nice.
Yeah.
Nice and brisk.
Yeah, it's a nice breezy day here in Dallas, Texas. So the Blake and Rudy Show, on location
on the road
in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Looking forward to visiting one of our favorite, really main, most important suppliers, H&K International, who produce and manufacture and deliver and supply our kitchen equipment, right?
That's right.
They've got a whole team inside that's going to show us, how things are done. We've got our Gulfport McDonald's under construction right now. We've ordered the kitchen package. They're producing the equipment here, so we'll hear about how that works and how H&K, kind of works within the three-legged stool. I think that's really cool what we can do with our show, right? We can highlight not only what we do behind our front counters, which is super important. I'd like to think the most important thing, but certainly this leg of the stool is right there, on by our side.
And we've got great suppliers, and again, H&K is one of those suppliers that is helping us serve our customers, even better than we do today. And those are the kind of suppliers that we value. And we value the partnership.
Yeah, and I've heard they said if we play our cards right, maybe there's a free spatula in it for us. So why don't we go inside and see the team? Looking forward to that, right?
Awesome.
Hi.
Welcome.
How are you doing?
Welcome to H&K.
Thank you.
See ya. Ready? Welcome. How you doing?
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thrilled to be here. Thank you so much
Welcome
for having us.
Pleased to have you here. Show you around. Show you what we do.
It's critical that we have partners like H&K that are helping us move the business forward, helping us get even better at what we're doing in our restaurants, and you guys are key to that. So thank you.
We're very excited to be able to show you what goes on behind the scenes. There's a lot that goes on in terms of manufacturing and logistics to make it happen for you guys. So we're actually going to be able to see your line that we're doing for your new store. We'll see that today.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
Great. Well, looking forward to it. Why don't we
head on inside.
I've been with H&K a little over 17 years now, all with the McDonald's account. I started out with our inside sales team, managing the contracts and orders and stuff, and just kind of for the last probably 13, 14 years have supported the corporate customer, and that expands globally. So I work with all of our global teams, kind of liaison between the markets and making sure that McDonald's standards and everything we're doing is aligned, and a lot of work with our new equipment and services development, deployment, stuff like that.
This is Doug Card. He's my boss.
So I'm Oliver Knott. I'm kind of a newbie, so 9 years.
Michelle Beamer, I've been with H&K a little over 7 years.
I've been with H&K for 24 years. So in operations, like Oliver, dealing with manufacturing, logistics, engineering. And we'll touch on all those today for you guys, show you a little bit of what we do here. And like he said, liaise with Tim, Doug, if we're doing rollouts, and coordinate a lot of that with our purchasing department, procuring components to actually build the equipment, all the way down to getting it out the door. So glad to have y'all here.
This group, you heard those years of experience. Right. It's all dedicated to McDonald's. Yes.
And I just want to emphasize how special that is, how important it is, honestly, and how it allows us to, I personally, I think it's why we're able to execute and why we're able to do things we're able to do is because of this kind of depth and breadth that we have just supporting us.
The good thing about the system is, again, it's 10 years in maturity. And so, again, the Australia and UK market, every restaurant, any service event is managed through the system. So there's a lot of learnings there.
Yeah.
We're mature with the system, and it's really good in what it does.
What a great, this has been awesome, and now I guess we're going to have lunch.
Right, free lunch from the supplier.
Incredible.
Hello there.
Whoa.
Look at this guy.
Wait a minute.
There's a geyser in the
Hey.
Flight cast.
Well, my name is John Kelly, and I'm an owner-operator. I bought my part of my first restaurant in 1996. I've been with the system for over 40 years. I am currently the chairman of the National Supply Leadership Council. We deal with all the supply chain matters across the country. We work with McDonald's supply chain, with all of our great suppliers, with our fantastic equipment suppliers, and with all the owner-operators that help us provide more efficiency and kind of what we call the daily miracle. We bring the food, the packaging, all the smallers, everything you need in your restaurant 2-3 times a week, depending on what your delivery schedule is. I don't really have to do a whole lot around H&K because they're one of our best suppliers in the United States. H&K is our largest kitchen equipment supplier, regionally, and takes care of about half the country and about half the world on top of that. And have one of the best teams, the most productive teams that we have anywhere in supply chain. And the NSLC picked up supply chain about 3 or 4 years ago, which I am the chairman of the NSLC. Picked up the equipment part of supply chain, and H&K has been a star performer during that entire time. The key thing is that everybody who's out here doing it, every single part of the supply chain, everybody is a pro, everybody works hard, including the McDonald's owner-operators, the folks in the restaurants, to make it come off without a hitch. And you know who benefits from that the most is our great customers and our guests who come and depend on us every single day. So without our supply chain, obviously that couldn't happen. So I appreciate the opportunity.
No, thank you.
And we appreciate you guys coming down and spending some time here to learn more about our great suppliers and supply chain. Thank you. And thank you to Team Casper.
All right, this is Marty.
Hi, Marty.
This is Blake.
Blake?
Hi, Rudy.
Rudy?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So he'll show you all a quick example of how we import the drawings, like Brian was telling you, from engineering.
Now, I don't know if they've told you up to this point, but this is where the magic.
That's right.
They did tell us that.
Exact words.
So this is the Radan software. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start nesting it. And so what should happen is it should start throwing all the parts in sheets, and what it's looking at is the different material types and the utilization.
And our target year to date target's about 85% of utilization. We've found that between most of our facilities, based on our product line, it's pretty true. Mm-hmm. And if we drop below 80 on anything, it's unique. But usually you're not going to get much higher than that just because of the nature of our product.
Kind of like efficiencies in the McDonald's system, right? It's what it's all about. Right. It's about time and motion. It's about efficiencies. Why does one chicken McNugget on the floor matter, right? Why do we need to get 85% of a sheet of stainless steel maximized? It's all, all three legs. Right. It's all about efficiency. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's, we're in the penny profit business. All suppliers, operators. It's counting catch-ups. In this case, we're counting steel.
Yeah.
And maximizing.
He's gonna start cutting you an example here. So if you guys look right over his shoulder, you're gonna see that looks kind of like what Marty was showing you in there.
The little green dots are the ones that are what it's actually cutting on there.
This is a little something we made earlier. This came straight from the laser cutter.
That is one smart laser. That is awesome. This is great. Thank you very much, Blake. This is going probably in the back of your car, maybe?
Oh yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
You know it. Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that. That's probably for the studio when we built the studio.
Right. Yeah, thanks, folks. That's terrific. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Once they come off the laser, then they come to the press brakes. Okay, so they're getting formed up. So Tim's going to show you an example of some parts, and what we do is we pull those drawings, again, our engineering drawings up from the server, and then they can actually go in and form the parts up as needed. So we'll let him give you a quick demo. And as a side note, I do want to give credit where credit's due. Tim is the one that came up with the nest for the program for your sign. So
hey,
thank you.
Very nice.
And on this drawing, it has different dimensions on what direction I need to actually form the metal to come up with the shape that is needed. So I take that and I type it into the computer here, what the break dimension and what degree I need to break it at. And then at that time, form it up. It's cool. And of course, I got to check to make sure I got all the correct dimensions that they needed. Good to go.
He'd already set everything up for you guys, so obviously the setup is figuring out which dies he's got to come pull from these racks to get the actual form that he needs on the finished product, and have the knowledge to set it up, put in the back gauge dimensions to get that, and then start doing it. This is what we refer to as finishing. So whether you're blending in the welds, taking the sharp edges off, you're either sandblasting, you're belting, you're grinding with a die grinding rock, just to make sure that those edges and everything looks, like it's supposed to be. So we'll peek in here real quick and see what.
This is right after the welding department. They come in and they weld the corners up, so it's rough, it's ugly, it's black. It's just not a pretty product. That's not something we'd want to send out to the customer. So the finishing department guys, he's going to come over here and blend everything in and make that weld disappear to where it just looks like a seamless piece of stainless going around there.
What we refer to as quality control, QC. So it'll come down to this area, and then our quality inspectors will actually pull the drawings up again, and they'll compare the item, to the drawing to make sure, all the components are there, everything's been met. Labels accordingly, they put on whether it's, different labels, if it's a UL, NSF, make sure it's all the labeling requirements have been met. So then the warehouse can grab these and put it in its appropriate stocking location for them to pull.
Welcome to the test lab here in our Dallas facility. So basically our function here is to test the performance of our units and validate the designs. We're testing for a lot of different things. First of all, we're testing for performance to make sure that we meet the required temperatures for your restaurants. We're also testing for sanitation and safety to make sure from a food safety standpoint that we're good. We're also doing safety testing for UL and Intertech, so that's from a safety certification level. Then we also are doing reliability testing.
So Tim's talking to us about the warehouse and what they keep here and who they ship to. We're talking Japan and Asia, just about every continent, right? Maybe not Antarctica, but he talked about 5, 6, 7 different countries that they're shipping to out of this facility. So very impressive. The old facility they had 6 bays, and this one, Dustin, if you can spin around, has 36 bays that they. This is the line we're going to get at our Gulfport restaurant called OPL. OPL stands for Optimized Prep Line. And this is the one where, if you visit Gulfport, it's going to look like everything's backwards and going the wrong direction. It really is a big shift in the way things work and the things operate. So Todd's going to kind of walk us through this.
This is the oat table. This is the product where your product actually slides into your warming area. Heat lamps above, keeping the product warm. Moving back to the next one will be the ECU table. This is actually the brains of the unit right here. As you look inside, this is actually the controller right here. Actually, is what controls the 2 conveyors inside that brings the food to the front. This is your high velocity prep table. This is where 70% of your food is actually made at right here. This is all your smalls, your nuggets, stuff like that, hamburgers, of that nature. Across the top, we have your box holders. Down below, we have your steamers. And then here's a refrigerator for quick stocking product back on the shelf here.
I'm actually I'm dropping a bun here.
Correct.
Prepping it, finishing it here, and sending it down that way. So I'm going in an S kind of deal, right?
Well, you're sending it into the hub.
Then you drop it down, right? Yeah. And then the conveyor belt, which is underneath and running, shoots it out there, and somebody's got to catch it because.
What are we gaining by this? I mean, there's obviously a lot of more complications, more stuff here, which can be great. But explain to me what is the efficiency, or what are we saving? What's the time saving, the labor saving? Where is it?
Less steps. So instead of one person walking the full length of this line, I'm actually right here making and dropping and continuing going over. Now if I get a premium sandwich, I slide them down to the next person here and drop in the rear. But that is one of the main efficiency part of it, is it's less steps for the crew.
The idea was most of your sales come through, 80% of your sales come through cheeseburgers, hamburgers, nuggets, Big Mac, 10-to-1 products, so that's about it. So that's getting dealt with in this high velocity cell. And what that meant is, and that gets done straight away, the hot off the grill products and the more premium sandwiches, we need a little bit more time. Doesn't block up the flow of the Big Mac cheeseburger. It gets out the drive-through faster. So it saves some seconds there, the drive-through. The other thing is, for the crew, from a crew perspective, it's ideal that the UHC, you notice where it's located, it's in the middle of the kitchen. So you turn straight around and grills and fries are here. So you're going to save 50% of steps for a crew person.
So we talked a lot about today what makes H&K who we are. It's like any great organization. It's our people. You just saw what we call our wall of fame. 30+ year employees, 25-year plus employees. And that group, we're just a family. And that group has a real passion, just a heart for the McDonald's system. That's why I love working here. I love coming to work with this team on a daily basis. I really appreciate you recognizing the culture that we have. If there's one word that I could use that I would want you to leave here with, is recognizing the passion that our team has for the McDonald's system. And all the experience you talk about and the length of tenure and all that. All of that team in the 17 years I've been here, they just have a real passion for the McDonald's system. Our culture and that passion I talked about is really who makes us who we are.
It's just been awesome to have you guys here for today, and we're just very grateful to be able to open our doors and show you around, and hopefully you got a little bit out of it, and hopefully your crew back there can see what happens in the store, in the new store, how a piece of equipment comes to life from a single sheet of stainless steel, and how then it arrives in your restaurant and what happens, and the care that our guys take into that piece of equipment to ensure that it's the best solution for your crew. That's.
Thanks a lot. No, really, this has been terrific.
Thanks for having us, and we look forward to the show. It's going to be a great show.